Welcome to rSlash, Am I the Butthole, where someone tries to kill a 13-year-old girl's pet cat. Am I the butthole for blowing up on my fiancé in front of his family for letting my daughter's cat out of the house? I'm a 35-year-old woman, and I got engaged to my fiancé, Eric, who's 37 2 months ago. He moved in with me and my daughter, Zoe, who's 13. Everything was going well until he started complaining about Zoe's cat, which is strange because the cat is so sweet and quiet most of the time. And I have no idea what exactly his issue is with the cat. Anyways, he went from complaining about the cat to making demands about her. He gave Zoe a list of places where the cat can and can't go, things she's not allowed to touch, and banned her from places like the kitchen and the sofa, which is Zoe's favorite place to cuddle with her cat. Zoe showed me the list, and I had an argument with him, telling him that he needs to stop this because it was ridiculous. He ranted about this being his house too, and how he expects things to change after we get married. A few days ago, I was at work, and I got a call from Zoe crying, saying that her cat wasn't in her room or in the house. I freaked out and went home to look for her. Zoe and I looked for the cat for 2 hours before a neighbor of ours found the cat and told us that he saw Eric leaving her outside and getting in his car and driving away. I was surprised and quite angry. Zoe took her cat and went back inside. I immediately drove to my future in-laws' home where Eric said that he would be. The second that I saw him sitting with his family, I blew up at him in front of everyone. His mom asked what happened, and I told her that her son took my daughter's indoor cat outside, probably hoping for her to get lost. He argued with me about me spouting nonsense and to go home so we could talk about it there, but I refused. Things got worse, and I ended up leaving after his family flipped out at him. He sent a bunch of texts about the stunt that I pulled in front of his family. He said that he didn't mean to leave the cat outside, but after checking the cameras, I confirmed it. He still insisted that I humiliated him in front of his family and I tried to turn them against him. He's been staying with a friend and has stopped calling and texting. Am I the butthole for blowing up on him in front of his family? Honestly, OP, I might get ripped apart in the comments here. Yeah, you kinda do deserve a butthole score for blowing up in front of his family because his family has nothing to do with this whatsoever, right? His mom has nothing to do with this. His dad has nothing to do with this. If you have a fight with your fiancé, you can have your fight with him in the privacy of your own home. So for that, I can give you like a 0.5 out of 5 buttholes. Now, does that mean that what he did is okay? Absolutely not. In my opinion, this is like divorce material. Luckily, he's your fiancé, so you don't have to go that far, but this is a huge red flag. The fact that he would abandon your daughter's cat just because he doesn't like cats is disgusting. I'm giving him 4 out of 5 buttholes. He's extremely selfish. So don't get me wrong, OP. I'm on your side. I'm on your daughter's side. I'm on the cat side too. I'm just saying, yeah, could you have done this better? Should you have done this in private? Yeah, definitely. Also, OP, please dump this guy. He's just not a good person. Am I the butthole for returning the money that my husband took from my family for attending our cookouts? I'm a 28-year-old woman, and my husband, who's 33, comes from a wealthy family, and he himself has inherited a number of assets from his relatives. One of them is a huge house where we currently live, with a pool and a huge backyard with lots of features. We decided to host our first cookout after we got married 7 months ago, and we invited both his and my family. That was on Friday. Both families came, and we had lots of fun. Then everyone went home later. I then got a phone call from my mom, and she didn't sound okay. She asked whether or not my husband took money from his family before they attended the cookout. I was confused and asked what she was talking about, and she told me that my husband charged every single person from my side of the family who attended the event $25. I was utterly shocked and very angry and felt like this has legitimately damaged my relationship with most of my family because almost all of them came over. Not just that, but my husband made $275 off of them. I was so livid that I hung up the phone and confronted him immediately. He told me that my family got to enjoy the space and the view, and he said that I should think of it as a resort cookout since the house has lots of luxuries. I told him that it was a horrible thing for him to do, and it was made so much worse by the fact that his family didn't have to pay like mine had to. He laughed and reminded me that his family gave him the house. I demanded that he give the money back, but he said no, and that he won't even give it to me since the house is technically his. I stole the money and I gave it back to my family with a sincere apology from me. My husband found out and flipped out at me, calling what I did overstepping and disrespectful. I told him that he shouldn't have taken money from my family for being guests at our house. But he corrected me, saying that it's his house, and said that he would bet that my family never got to attend a cookout at a house like this, and that it was just $25, but I disrespected him, and I went behind his back and took money that wasn't mine. We stopped talking after this argument, and he keeps venting to his mom about me taking his money that he earned his own way. Holy shit, OP, what did I just read? There's so much wrong with this post. Why did this guy keep it from you, right? Like, that's what I want to know more than anything. Not about the entitlement, not about the obvious, like, oh, well, the poor people would be delighted for an opportunity to eat at my gorgeous home. No, what I want to know is, why did this guy hide it from you? Apparently, he sent out an email or a phone call or whatever to all of your family telling them about the $25, but kept it a secret from you. Then, after he gets caught out, he's going to bring his mother into an argument between you and him? OP, oh my God. This is a sea of red flags. Like, the actual event isn't that bad. It's not like he's, murdering puppies or beating children. It's just one red flag after another red flag after another red flag. He lied to you. He's whining to his mommy about your fight. He's got this sense of entitlement where his family is like upper class and your family is poor and they don't deserve any favors. He's essentially scamming money out of your family, and he sees his house as his house, not your house. And unless you signed a prenup, it's your house too. And okay, this is something that's really subtle, but it really bothers me. So his family gave him money. So his mentality is that because his family's already paid money, therefore your family owes you two, the couple. So they have to also send in money to the family as well. But that is not the correct way to think about this. He shouldn't think that your family owes the both of you. The correct way to think is, how can I pay back the family who gave me the money, right? He received an incredible gift, and his response is, well, aren't you going to give me a gift too? Instead of, how can I show my gratitude and repay my family who's given me this incredible head start in life? OP, man, oh my God, the red flags in this post. OP, I'm giving you 0 out of 5 buttholes. You're completely justified. The husband, I think, is probably at around like 3, maybe 3.5 out of 5 buttholes. Am I the butthole for asking my son to get a paternity test? My son, who's 18, found out that one of his ex-girlfriends is 8 months pregnant. He had no idea that she was pregnant, and now he's just expected to accept everything, no questions asked. My daughter, who's 20, is good friends with this girl, and she knew about her pregnancy, but she said nothing to us because her friend asked her not to. My son was head over heels for this lady, but she ended up breaking his heart by cheating on him and was very needy and manipulative. He spends a lot of money on her because she would ask him for gifts that he couldn't afford, and she would convince him to use my credit cards to buy it. My daughter is currently living with the ex-girlfriend. My daughter thinks that the ex-girlfriend is being manipulative and that she might have even cheated. She showed up with my son's ex-girlfriend at my door to help her tell us that she's pregnant. When I saw her standing at my door, visibly pregnant, I knew that she was going to be saying that my son is the father of her child. And I immediately said that my son wouldn't be investing any money or time until he took a paternity test proving that that was his child. My son backed me up and agreed. My daughter was horrified by my comment and accused me of encouraging him to be a deadbeat father and was upset that I didn't even give them a chance to explain themselves. My son's ex started crying, saying that I always assumed the worst of her and that she went 8 months of pregnancy alone, and the least that we could do is ensure that she's taken care of for the betterment of his child. I do agree that if it's his child, we're going to ensure that the mom is doing well and the baby is doing well. But I don't want my son to be involved with her only to get his heart broken again and only to find out that the child isn't his. Am I the butthole here? And then OP posted an update. My daughter and I spoke on the phone, and I explained to her that if the baby really is his, then the paternity test will only lock in his responsibility for the baby, and that there's no way I would ever encourage my son to abandon any of my grandbabies. My daughter finally agreed the test would be beneficial and told me she'd call me back later. When they came over later, my son's ex admitted to not actually knowing who the father was, and that she had been in a relationship with multiple guys, which is why she took so long in telling my son, because she was trying to figure out who's the father of her child. But now she's certain that it's my son. She agreed to do the paternity test as soon as possible on the condition that I pay for it. Another thing I found out is that my daughter and my son's ex have actually developed a romantic relationship, which is beyond shocking to me. I mean, it explains why she's been sticking up for my son's ex so much, but it's just not something I thought my daughter would ever do. I mean, that's her brother's ex, someone who broke his heart, so I just don't understand it. I'll always love my daughter, but it just hurts me seeing my son feeling really hurt by this whole situation. Okay, OP, this is really simple. No, you're not the butthole. Your son absolutely should get a paternity test. Otherwise, he could be on the hook for child support for the next 18 years for a kid that isn't even his. Also, she literally cheated and admitted that she doesn't know who the father is. OP, you get 0 out of 5 buttholes. The ex-girlfriend gets 2.5 out of 5 buttholes. Am I the butthole for telling my sister that I'll no longer give her my breast milk? I'm a 28-year-old woman, and I had a stillbirth 5 weeks ago. My sister gave birth to a healthy baby boy 4 weeks ago. After my stillbirth, I was producing milk and pumping, and my sister couldn't breastfeed after her son was born. The formula shortage was awful, and I was literally throwing my milk away, so I offered it to my sister, and she gladly accepted. I was advised by my doctors to pump for 3 weeks after the stillbirth to prevent problems for me and then stop. Otherwise, I'd just keep producing milk. Due to the formula shortage, I've been pumping for 5 weeks now to give the milk to my sister. Now that there's more formula in stock and she's been able to go buy it, I told her I'd stop pumping. She told me that her son has stomach problems after the formula and asked me to keep pumping. I told her that, emotionally, I can't handle it any longer. She said that I'm being selfish and that she already has to feed her son by bottle. At first, she suggested that I let him breastfeed. We live next door, and I refused. I told her, I'm sorry, I can pump for a few more days so she can put some in the freezer and have some backup until she finds a better formula for her son. But she said that breast milk is the healthiest and I should just help her out. She called me a selfish butthole and said that I'm the embodiment of misery loves company. My mother feels that I should help my sister out. My husband said that my sister is way out of line. I feel really awful because I could still help her out, and I know that she needs it. OP, this is really simple. If your sister is so dead set on giving her kid breast milk, then she can go buy it like anyone else. I mean, at the end of the day, it's your boobs, OP, so if you don't want to pump milk, then you don't have to pump milk. OP, I'm giving you 0 out of 5 buttholes. I'm giving your sister 1.5 out of 5 buttholes. Am I the butthole for storming off from my sister's wedding after she dead-named my... Dead-named? What is dead-named? After she dead-named my son? Okay, hold up. What is dead-named? To call a transgender person by their birth name when they have changed their name as part of their gender transition. Oh, so you mean like fundamentally disrespect them. Okay, gotcha. I'm a 45-year-old single father of 3. My wife died 10 years ago. I have 3 sons, 17-year-old Andrew, 15-year-old Connor, and 14-year-old Max. Connor was born female, and he's trans. He came out as trans 5 years ago and is now socially transitioned, but not yet physically. My sister, who's 38, just got married. Me and my sons were also invited. My family has known that Connor is trans for 2 years now, and some have adjusted well, some not so much. My sister is pretty indifferent about it. Her wedding was really super well organized to the last detail. She wanted all the men to wear a shirt and tie and all the women to wear sundresses. I texted her a picture of our outfits the day before the wedding, and she said, "Where's Nia's dress?" I was a bit surprised, and I told her not to dead-name my son and that he'll be wearing a shirt and tie like the rest of the men there, or we're not coming. She said fine, and that was that. At the reception, my sister got mad that Connor was wearing a tie, but didn't say much after that. When we sat down at our table, my son's table card said Nia. I went to my sister, and she said that she used her real name. I told her that me and the boys are leaving, and she told me, "Don't you dare cause a scene at my wedding. Nia can be a guy any other day." I called her a bigot and we left. My family says that I ruined her wedding. OP, in no world does standing up for your kid and advocating for your child make you the butthole. As far as I'm concerned, she's the one who ruined her wedding by picking a fight with you. OP, you get 0 out of 5 buttholes. I'm giving your sister 2.5 out of 5 buttholes. That was rSlash Am I the Butthole, and if you like this content, check out my podcast where I publish the exact same episodes. Also, hit that subscribe button because I put out new Reddit videos every single day.